So the official Hull KR podcast is back for episode 2. We're here with Jason Netherton and Ben Lazenby discussing the new Academy Elite licence that runs until the end of 2027. Firstly, congratulations, guys. How do you feel about the process?
Absolutely delighted to see how far that we've come in a short period of time. All the hard work has been recognised by the RFL and the Doug who came to accredit us. So I think it's a good indication of where we're at. I think it's fair. We're the first academy this year to actually undergo that process. And for us, it was really important that after everything that had gone on in the past, that we kind of hit the ground running and made the necessary changes to give us the right platform for the future. So everybody in the academy has been right behind the process and working really hard to get to this point. And like I said, it's a platform for developing further for the future rather than an end point. We're not where we want to be, but we're certainly on track for where we'd like to see ourselves for this point.
It's been a really intense process since we started, which was probably November time, November time, to where we are now. There's been a hell of a lot of work done by a lot of people, throughout the whole club. It's not just been the people within the academy as well. There's been a lot of administration that's been needed from all over the club. People in the trust, obviously Paul, Neil, Tony's been a big help. So it's been a club-wide thing, and we're really pleased to see where we are at the moment. And as Ben alluded to, where we're hoping to be in the future.
And before we go on to the future and the people behind the scenes, what helps, just cast back a year to May 2021 and the initial refusal of the academy licence. Could you just go through that, Jason? Just what was that like at the time?
Yeah, it was tough. It was a tough period. Tough couple of weeks, that one. The process leading up to that was I would obviously put an application in via John. It was a paper-based application rather than the visits that we have now. The application was turned down. John received a phone call, I believe, about 9:30 in the morning, to let him know that it had been denied and the academy had been taken away. And it was going on the RFL social media channels within half an hour, which was not ideal. You've got 30 minutes to let players, parents, staff know what's happened, which obviously is impossible for us to do. The kids was at school. So it meant that they all saw it via social media and not through us, which was not the way it should have been. We then got all the players and parents to come in on the evening where we addressed them, told them what was happening. In my time in youth development, it was the toughest day because the academy was getting taken away. These players had lived and dreamed becoming professional players, and in their eyes, it was now being taken away. It wasn't nice to see the players, in a lot of cases, crying, walking out and telling the parents. The parents was crying in the car park. It wasn't a great scene. It wasn't a great memory and experience for me and the staff at OK at the time. But, we don't want to go over it too much, but where we are now, obviously the process that we followed means that we're in a hell of a lot better place than we were back then.
And even flash forward 2 weeks after that, I didn't know the level of, obviously it impacts young athletes and these kids that their dream is to play rugby league, and then 2 weeks later you get the probationary licence and the chance to reclaim one of them, the licence, and you have the scholarship derby which UKR won. So in a way, in 2 weeks it was just like a roller coaster of emotions for the academy and the scholarship.
It was. I think if there's anything that came positively out of that experience was the whole of rugby league jumped on board with us. They all came together to kind of fight for those licences to be granted, that probationary licence. I think the RFL then probably realised they'd made a bit of a bloop.
It was hard for everyone, and everyone rallied round KR, which was great to see. And you have the guys who come through the academy from the 80s, the Colts set up in the 80s, 70s, 80s, then up to now you've seen some really good young guys coming through. What was the process like? For both of you, Jace, Ben, about in a way it's not like a rebuilding, but you've got to put the blocks back together, haven't you, to get the probationary licence and then the full elite academy licence. What's that been like over the last year?
I think it was a rebuild. It was. I think the club took a long, hard look at the process that the academy was going through at that time, realised that things needed to change and improve. Big part of that was bringing Ben on board. We also brought some other staff. We brought Wilson in to look after our community and scouting talent ID aspects of the academy. We brought in Paula Cullen as a welfare officer, which is unique. The RSG, Rover Supporters Group, there funded that post for us, which goes to show the level of support that they've got for us, which has been amazing. So that the club really looked at the academy processes and thought, well, things need to be changed. And we started that with Ben coming in, and it's flowed nicely. Ben probably could tell you a little bit more about the process of him coming in and what he saw when he first